All right. Call this meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge.
Please, nice to meet you.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Welcome back. All right, approval of board meeting minutes for August 13th, 2025.
I'll move for the approval of board meeting minutes for August 13th.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the board meeting minutes for August 13th, 2025. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Approval of a meeting agenda.
Move for the approval of the meeting agenda.
A second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the meeting agenda. Is there any changes or discussion?
Yes, I'd like to propose that we table G through L so that the board has time to go over the final bill, House Bill 1296. Because most of those pertain to discussion.
Would you like to table them or discuss them today?
Well, has everyone had a chance to fully read both House bills?
Could we move it to discussion and do some preliminary discussion today? Do you have some updates a little bit for us?
I mean, I think at this point, I think just the discussion for preliminary things we'd like to investigate, and then there's no action needed. Just a
Okay.
chance to have a conversation.
Do I have an emotion to for an amendment or yeah,
I move that we amend the motion to table to reflect moving into discussion.
A second.
okay. Oh, I just got a cramp.
You okay?
Yep, that was fun.
Stand up, folks, walk it off, walk it off.
Oh, I dove today.
Need some mustard?
Apparently
No
so.
kidding.
Okay. All right, it's been moved and seconded to amend the agenda to move items 10D through M from the new business into discussion. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. We're now back onto the original motion, which is the approval of the meeting agenda. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. All right, consent agenda.
I'll move for the approval of the consent agenda.
I'll second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion or changes? It looks like there's an asterisk change in
We
there.
do have an asterisk change. We did have a teacher that has the opportunity to pursue joining the PGA Tour. So we felt it was in our interest to support that.
Do we need to do anything with that asterisk or was it already on there?
It
I think it was on there.
it's on there.
Okay, awesome. I was just making sure. I thought so, but. It was moved and seconded. Okay, is there any further discussion?
Holy cow, that's really cool.
Yeah, right? That
sounds
is
like it
really.
deserves the-
Yeah.
That was
Seeing-
my
that
big
was your big
profound
thing? Yeah.
discussion, yeah.
Awesome. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. All right, booster fundraiser approvals. Approval of the Elma Egg Boosters fundraiser.
I'm Desiree Gibson. I'm representing the Egg Boosters, and we would like to continue doing our traditional football concessions this year again.
I'll move for the approval of the Egg Boosters fundraiser.
Second.
This has been moved and seconded to approve the Elma Egg Boosters fundraiser. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries.
You don't have.
You don't have to say it. I was just gonna say the same thing. You are good to go. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Have a good night. We appreciate you.
All right, discussion items. Scheduled board retreat, scheduling board retreat.
So at the last retreat, Mary had two different options for you for operating principles or communications protocols, or you could schedule both. If you do them singly, they're 2 hours each. Together would be 4 hours. And she sent me some dates that she's available for September, if you guys want to talk about dates.
Throw them at us.
September 5th, she's available, 10 to 4. September 16th, 17th, 19th, 26th, and 29th, she's available 10 to 7.
You said 16th, 17th,
19.
19th, 29th.
And 26th.
Oh, 26th, yeah.
And then September 30th, she's also available in the afternoon, 1 to 7.
Do you want us to get back to you on that and take those? Yeah, since I
I'll just,
take a bunch of people's time going through. I mean, I can go through my schedule right now and probably tell you which one's working.
the latter of September is best for me.
Yeah,
I'm
me
out
Me
of
too.
town.
The 26th works best for me.
Yeah, the 26th would be a good day for me also.
And I think if we're gonna meet, we should just
Just.
I feel like
knock
we
it
should
out.
do it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
finding multiple nights, I think is hard.
Yeah,
Can you tell me if there's a soccer game that night?
It's a Friday night. Or
It is.
Friday day.
It is a
Friday.
Friday day.
Okay,
So what was her time? Was it 10 to 4 that day or
She's available 10 to 7.
10 to 7?
Yeah.
so we
could do 10 to 4,
Wait,
right?
well, it's only
10
4
to 2
hours.
Or.
Oh, yeah, 10 to 2, 10 to 2.
Yeah,
Does
but
that
does that
work
work
for
for
you?
you?
Yeah.
yeah, I'll just take the day off. Yeah.
Okay,
10 to 2?
Yep.
on the 26th, right? Sounds like that's consensus.
That's good.
And,
would-
and can we also invite our,
Okay.
okay, yeah. Now I just gotta get that into the schedule and this is,
You like leading up to it, we bring back some of the data, the school improvement plans in those areas, kind of for you to set some of your goals to carry in.
I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
Cause yes, we need to get that rolling as well. This summer has been really busy for a lot of us, so some of that has
I feel like
hit the back
anything,
burner a little bit.
anything you can do to make it so you can make the most of your time with Mary.
Okay,
Because we really need to do
yeah,
all of our evaluation goals and things like that at this meeting, in essence, or be pretty far into that process.
It's generally helpful when you do it with Mary.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying if there's anything
Yeah.
we can load you up with information before the meeting happens on where we concluded with our data last year.
okay,
Perfect, that would be super helpful.
yeah, that'd be really helpful.
Okay.
Anything else on the retreat, Candace? All right. Scheduling board rep interviews, which also, oh, yeah, go ahead.
Just have the one student. And it was Stephanie and Bernadette, I think that we're going to interview the student. He didn't get back to me yet, so I don't really know when he's available, but what's your availability? Or do you want to switch up the interview?
It does not really matter to me. We'll just figure it out. I would like to find out what his availability is.
I'm sorry, what?
I'd like to find out what his availability is, and it'd
Yeah.
probably be easier for us to work around his school schedule.
Okay, I'll shoot you that when I get it from them.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
All right.
if you could maybe give us at least a few options,
Yeah.
that might be helpful.
Okay.
Strategic plan update.
So we crushed a bunch of our goals in our strategic plan. So we reviewed it as an administrative team on how we'd like to update it. It does take action from the board. Probably would be worth reviewing with Mary, but like a great example is our post-secondary enrollment. We had a target of 45%. And we outperformed that goal already. So we're looking at some of the new pieces of the work we would be looking at doing. One of the things the administrators would like to recommend is shifting from the term UDL to student-centered learning. which would make it more inclusive of like our students that are highly capable on ensuring that they're also making 1 year growth where they might not fall under the UDL definitions. And then beyond that, the step pieces on, as we began meeting our goals, changing the area in blue is those SMART goals, those little numbers on what we think is achievable to continue expanding on our work. Early learning would like to focus on their increase of engagement with families. One of the reasons why is our previous indicator was looking at WAKID scores. But through our early learning partnership, we have focused heavily on the social emotional kind of classroom skills indicator, which did take our WAKID scores down. But we're confident that really working with our early learning partners and our students on some of those classroom readiness skills will pay off in the long run. So is it appropriate having a cumulative WAKID score? Cumulative WAKID score as our overarching goal. I mean, obviously, we're not looking for tonight, we're not looking for action. I felt like if we would give it and make sure that this was one of the pieces that we could lead on as part of our Mary conversations. But if we're going to focus on like social emotional learning as an aspect of early learning, would it make sense that we're using all of our WAKID scores as our indicator or not? Mastery learning, we have a huge focus right now on ensuring that every class is taught to grade level standards and every assignment is aligned to standards. In career college readiness, we are still sitting with the improved post-secondary going rate, but we actually moved from the 45 to 55% rate. We think that it's attainable that we can continue making gains on our post-secondary enrollment rates. So these are kind of what our administrators are thinking. We also want to, again, this is approved by the board, and so we'll be looking for feedback as part of that board retreat.
On the student-centered learning goal, where it says for Elma's exceptional student, is that a band of students, or is that just a positive way we're referring to all students?
It's actually meant to be more inclusive because we instead of looking at a singular band, it was the word they wanted to use for kind of multiple outliers on both ends. So we realized the original goal doesn't account for our highly capable students that are outperforming, or our ELL students, or the original goal was really written towards our special needs population, but we have other populations on the opposite end. So they chose the word exceptional because it kind of looks at the breadth.
Okay.
So I guess we chose the word, did I phrase that correctly? Word exceptional was meant to kind of capture all of the ends.
And then on the current college readiness, could we also look at some data about what our kids are doing, like not just upon entry, but like
How are they doing after?
first,
Yeah, we
the
have
12-month mark or something, I don't know.
ERDC data does report out 1 year retention, 2 year retention, 3, so it actually gives you retention and completion data. The most recent up to date is going to be 2024 data. So it just takes a while to get that data. So that data does exist, but it's just always going to be old.
Right.
Because it's first they have to graduate, then they have to go there, then they have to make it a year, then they have to report it. So we absolutely can use retention data. And I like the idea of using retention data because our retention data wasn't incredible. Like one of the things that we have is we've improved academic scores, which helps get kids into college, but what helps kids stay in college is knowing why they're there. So, and that would actually be in alignment with this priority, which is ensuring, if you look at the four steps across the bottom,
Mhm.
they're written around and making sure that we're connecting students to their pathways and they know why they want to go. And that was written to drive up that retention data piece.
I think that would be, I love kids going someplace. But also we want kids to succeed once they're there. So just sending them isn't,
That would be consistent with, I think, the priorities on the bottom.
Yeah.
On why you'll notice the steps have shifted
Right.
to. So I think that's appropriate. I think it would just come with the caveat that it will be old.
right.
Anybody have any other questions before we move on? All right, moving right along. Now we've got a big laundry list of discussion items, which is the amended items from new business. That's discussion and approval items. No, it's in these
Oh,
downloads of
I got- yeah,
discussion.
yeah.
D through
Yeah.
D
Yeah, deep. Go ahead.
through M. So I don't know if we just want to globally touch on these or discuss each one individually. I mean, we moved them all up, so we can discuss them individually, or we can group them together. It's.
Yeah, I mean, I have them open. How would you like to go?
Does anybody have any preference? Want to go through each one?
Maybe just big picture.
Okay,
They're all
let's just
kind
go,
of
we can go through each one.
Yeah.
Policy 1111, oath of office.
Hang on, I thought we only moved G through someone G.
D.
E,
She moved the ball.
got it. This is just, I think opening the administrator who manages the swearing in at the oath of office. So we're kind of defining a little bit more in the swearing in process.
I did notice they added, they decided to strike promote the interests of education.
Yeah,
That's just interesting. Like, sure. Why that case?
It seems like what you.
It seems like what we're here for, but maybe it's a little redundant. I don't know. Anybody have anything else? I did notice that I went through a lot of these. This is just a general comment on a lot of these. And there's not very many districts yet that have adopted any of these, nor have they played around with modifying them. So I found like a couple that had them, but they were previous models of the policy. And I can probably tell you which ones, because I actually put that in here, but. Moving on to policy 1310, policy adoption manuals and administrative procedures.
it adds a section on policy interpretation that the priority is to maintain the safety of all students.
And these are all for the alignment with the House Bill 2096, right?
Yep.
One arching question that I had about these is, I guess, if these are written in state law, why necessarily do they have to go into school district policy?
Sometimes law doesn't account for our own internal district interpretation of that law and how we would apply it. So it just provides closer and closer macro level context.
Okay. You can see that in the further ones. It's just some of these are like especially the policy interpretation, because it directly talks about the RCW, so. Policy 1815, ethical conduct for board members.
Kind of a comprehensive change. This one does have some areas for editing that would be local to our district. Moves into the defining, sorry.
And are you saying like, you're not finding a lot of other,
No, but I mean, these are from the House bill that was adopted, that became law in July. So no, not many districts have, just like
Had board
us,
meetings.
haven't had that many
Okay.
board meetings, and they're probably not gonna
Right.
tackle a lot of this stuff till
Right
now,
now.
so.
okay,
You will find at the end of House Bill 1296, it does talk about, there is a portion in the, I think the final part of the bill that talks about districts implementing this and the repercussions for not implementing some of the policies. I don't know if you can speak to that at all. But it said something about OSPI and penalties for not putting some policy in place.
There's areas where the state will be reviewing and auditing our policies, kind of a review process. I don't think they've talked so much about punitive damages. They've just held an error and a threat of punitive damages. So nothing defined.
Yeah, it just basically says. You have to modify this as accurate for your school district. In addition, willful or negligent non-compliance with state law may result in further consequences, which is individual penalties, recall petitions, and forfeiture of office.
Yeah, I meant the.
Oh, on this House
Yeah, the
bill?
House bill,
Okay,
all by
probably the
itself.
same.
Yeah. And I think that's probably where it comes into play. So, all right, policy 2420, grading and progress reports.
Yeah, I think this is just more consistent with the making sure that parents are informed with grading tied to RCW 28A 2031-95, that we have clear communication of student performance and academic grades, alignment to academic standards, and state assessment scores.
And I'd be opening a can of worms. When we say they have access to, it doesn't mean that it's written and or given, doesn't mean that it's written or given in an understandable manner for most of our families. When you say defined.
I think the big issue is when you get to that last sentence, that last paragraph
Mhm.
is, and this is kind of a conversation I've had with our staff, is if we can really show by the data, it moves into effectively retention. And we really shouldn't be retention or taking punitive action against a student unless that family kind of knows clearly, like, this is where my child is at. This is their gap, this is what they need, that we're not retaining on, not negligently just retaining a student. So I think I don't know, maybe I'm interpreting wrong, but my hanging was on that last sentence, really talking about in-person meeting principals, to discuss any resource strategy that will support encourage student academic improvement. Or sorry, I did have a sentence before. The district will also inform parents of legal guardians whether their student's performance could threaten their ability to be promoted to the next grade level. Out of that whole change, I felt like that was the one that stood out to me the most. I'll be really candid. I've had lots of questions about retention, and I've been really clear in my answer. I have no issue retaining a student if I know that their grade is a result of knowledge they don't have.
Mhm.
So I don't really disagree with the law and how it's done. I mean, as it's written, because if we're retaining a student because the grade is compliance based, so you have a student who knows algebra really, really well, and we retain them, and they're in algebra again, so now they're more bored, their behavior is not going to get better.
Sure.
And if you have a student who's a really, really nice kid who doesn't understand algebra, moving on to geometry,
Right.
they're probably not going to do better. So as I read that law, I feel like that law is just saying that we need to have grades that are really clearly academically aligned, and the parents have to have a clear understanding and opportunity to meet with a lot of proactive communication. If we're going to be leveraging that second last sentence, which is something's going to happen, your child might not pass, they might not graduate, or they're going to need to be able to be retained. We need to have an argument we can stand behind.
Okay.
All right, that was 2420. 3143, notification and dissemination of information about student offenses and notifications of threats of violence.
This is a complete and total rewrite. So it's just a lot of policy. I think I'm less concerned about the policy, and I'm probably more concerned about the procedure on how we'll actually enact and see through this policy. So
Pretty comprehensive as far
Yeah.
as how it dials down. I mean, it went from, yeah, it's way in depth.
So this is much more in line with the new state discipline policies and how we're maintaining records for that.
That's a long one.
Even back to G, would there be, quite a bit of policy, or sorry, procedure work that have to take place. It feels like, I'm not lying that, or not necessarily.
I think
I don't think
so.
there should be.
I think there should be a lot of procedural work that goes into
Okay.
place. But I mean, honestly, I mean, I've kind of laid it out. Our mastery-based learning work isn't that deep, so I don't think it would be all that difficult for us. I mean, that's our priority is just show me what the skills the students have. And if we have that system built, then I would leverage this competency-based learning would be a foundation of our procedure that would come off of that. I mean, if we have a student who only has about 25% of the actual competencies to move on, and now they're creating a gap, I think it's a rational argument. And if we have the data to show it now, have the record keeping to show it, that's what we've been trying to build for the last 4 years.
Any further discussion on 3210? 3226, interview and interrogation of students on school premises.
This is just really bringing us into alignment with state agencies on how investigations, interrogations, and interviews happen.
Gist of it, I got it, limits the use of the school as being an interrogation vessel.
Yes, this is actually built off of a case, so it does change a legal, I mean, there's a modification of the parent rights legal reference. There was a law that was changed a few years ago that we have to give parents notice prior to law enforcement interview. Our procedures are pretty well intact with that process.
Thirty-two twenty-six, or what's wrong, 4260, use of school facilities.
This is just adding that protected classes that we're not allowed to discriminate against when looking at facilities. I'll be,
Right. It's fine.
I'll be real candid. We don't collect any of this information when booking our facilities.
So it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All right, that one's self-explanatory. You can read the changes. 5010, non-discrimination and affirmative action.
It's a little bit more comprehensive, adding language into definitions of protected class. Really kind of defining that non-discrimination of those protected classes.
It's the whole.
Yeah, it's quite the change. And you want to get to that, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, that's no problem. Any other discussion on those items?
Yeah, 5260, right?
That's on,
That's the one we were
that's-
just talking about, or no, that one we didn't actually
yeah,
table,
that's included on the,
right?
our regular agenda. Yep, we're
Yeah.
talking about, yeah, we're moving forward on that one. We ended the discussion table for discussion with L.
Is that correct, Candace? Is that how? I drew the line,
Yeah,
but
you threw L. Yeah, you're correct. That's exactly.
Sure.
I have written down
No, I have.
do you have M? All right.
You
Well,
said D through L. In the amendment,
it's okay if we do.
Yeah.
And then we can put it back on next time if
regardless.
you want to.
Okay.
Is that, yeah, is that what you guys want to do?
Sure.
Okay. All right, we'll treat it as through M. All right, 5260 personal records.
It just kind of loosens up the definement and just says all staff members, so that way it's not specific to certified classified. And just allowing staff members to review their personnel files, records.
They should be approved.
I mean, we were keeping Lisa out of hers, but I guess we can't do that anymore.
It's just kind of weird that word changing,
Yeah.
at least.
At least,
At least.
it's the
Lisa,
least you can do.
Lisa and Eric are there are only two exempt, right?
My whole office.
Your whole office exempt, Lisa's office and Eric, so now,
And then we've got those who
Are
are
you
there
doing
and
that?
Melissa.
oh, that's right, so there's about 7 people now that will finally be able to look at their personnel files. We were working real hard to keep Eric out of his.
Any play.
Sorry.
All right. Okay, so that takes us all the way back. as long as nobody has any further discussion, takes us all the way back over here to public comment. Is there any public comment?
Yes.
All right, hold on. I gotta read my spiel. Welcome.
Welcome, Elma.
Yeah, welcome, Elma Eagle. Welcome. Your comments, which are important to us. All comments are limited to 3 minutes. It's helpful for the board if you give us your name. Please address your remarks to the chairperson. Note that we will not be entering into dialogue at this time. The purpose of this agenda item is for you, the public, to inform us, the board, about your views. So welcome, and here you go.
Time starts now. No.
So first off, my name is Meredith Smith. And so coming from the high school, and we have our shirts ready from the Be the Blue campaign that we all started and talked about with you all last year, I guess, last school year. Yeah. So for those of you who filled out your form, I have your shirt, and then I have a few size options. I thought I grabbed a few different ones. So I have a large, so I have 2 larges.
Or
and
just maybe
2
just set it.
leave them, okay,
Okay.
okay. Oh gosh.
Thank you.
Here, Ryan, you can
Thank you
have
so
your
much.
picture. And so, yeah, brief kind of what we've been doing. We talked to the whole staff, that went really well. They're all really excited, I think. And then we have our first assembly on Friday that we're gonna be talking about Be the Blue, and then all the students will be getting them within the next week. So then we're hoping to get a group picture next Friday for like our first official Be the Blue Friday. So we're just getting things rolling, and it should be
Right,
all
yeah.
going soon.
So are the board members invited to be there dispersed for the first Friday Be the Blue photo?
Yeah, if you guys are available.
When is it?
So we're having our first like back to school assembly. We'll kind of talk about Be the Blue a little bit this Friday. And then next Friday, we're working with Mr. Ferrero, our like yearbook teacher. And he's gonna take a whole school photo. We're just gonna encourage everyone to wear their shirt. And so hopefully it's everyone because they'll have a shirt. But yeah, we're gonna take a whole school-wide photo.
And what time do they usually do that Friday assembly?
It'll start roughly like 10:15, maybe just get there at 10 to be safe for like 10:ish.
Okay. Thank you. These look nice.
Yeah, this is awesome.
I like the simple, clean look.
Yes,
That's
that's what we're
nice.
going for, just
Yeah.
Be the Blue
It is great.
and yeah.
Thank you.
I like that. Thank you.
The Monday was incredible. You did a great job.
Thank you.
You were gonna be in my you were in my good of the order. So but since you're here, I'll jump the gun on my good of the order. So you can hear it, but I was just really impressed with how you got the staff out and I know I asked you on very short notice and I think you just really rose to the occasion. So thank you.
Yes, I will always take up any chance to show my Eagle pride, so
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
thank you.
All right. No unfinished business, new business. Approval to accept 2025-26 fuel bid for PetroCard.
Good evening. Our Opus closing for both diesel and unleaded is down. Our road tax is up. Our bid margin increased just a tad. Our overall total cost is down for both diesel and unleaded in comparison to previous years. So PetroCard suffices all of our requirements and they were the only bid. So it's my recommendation that we approve PetroCard to provide our diesel and unleaded fuel for the 25-26 school year.
I'll move for the approval to accept the 25-26 fuel bid for PetroCard.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the 2025-26 fuel bid for PetroCard. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Thanks, Caleb.
Thank you. Respectfully, I'm gonna excuse myself and make some follow-up phone calls.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Text me, Caleb, do you have my number?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
All right, approval to accept 2025-26 dairy products bid for Dairy Fresh.
I'm just asking for approval to, approve Dairy Fresh, the only ones that bid.
What's their bill? Do we know?
Uh,
Do we know what the bid is typically? Like how it compared to last year?
and it's up like a 0.003 from last year.
No, it's not bad.
Okay.
And then for milk, I think it went up a 0.004 from last
Some margins there.
For
Yeah.
somebody that buys a lot of milk, I think we should be super thankful. Cause I don't deal with 0.004.
I'll move the approval to accept the 2025-26 dairy product bid for Dairy Fresh.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the 2025-26 dairy products bid for Dairy Fresh. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Approval,
Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to move on the ground.
I'm spazzing out too, so, right. Approval to accept 2025-26 bread products bid for Franz
year.
Bakery.
Please don't ask me because we asked for like 10 different things and they were all.
Yeah,
I got hamburger.
I was just asking for milk because I know futures were down for
So I'm
conventional.
asking approval for Fran's Bakery
Okay.
to deliver our bread products.
Oh, go Franz. I'll make the motion to accept the bread products bid for Fran's Bakery for 25-26 school year.
I'll second.
it's been moved and seconded to approve the 2025-26 bread products bid for Franz Bakery. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries.
Can you make me a gluten-free powdered raspberry hazelnut? That'd be great.
Yeah,
Because that's worth a gutting.
now moving all the way down to N, approval of resolution 2-2526 retired teachers.
This is an every year resolution. I ask for approval so we can use retired teachers as substitutes.
And
I'll move for the approval of resolution 2-2526 retired teachers.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution 2-2526 retired teachers. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Approval of resolution 3-2526 authorization for petty cash and impressed accounts.
This is just approval to disperse cash and the impressed accounts out to the buildings. And it lists every person who gets so approval for them to handle money.
I'll move for the approval of resolution 3-2526, authorization for petty cash and impressed accounts.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution 3-2526 authorization of petty cash and impressed accounts. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Approval of resolution 4-2526 district investments.
This is to allow me or Chris to make investment on the district's behalf through the county director.
I'll move the approval of resolution 4-2526 district improvements.
I'll second.
Okay, sorry. It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution 4-2526 district investments. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. All right, moving on to reports. Lisa.
Yeah, you guys should have all got copies of your budget reports. We're running about a $6.6 million budget. Ending fund balance, excuse me, right now. That could possibly go up a little, but just a reminder that some of our fund balance will be carryover money that was not spent that we will spend in the following year.
Does our federal funding always start down like it has on the current year to date? On funds in, I was looking at,
No, we're down a little.
yeah, it is down a little. Okay, all right. I was just curious if that
Some of
was
the grants,
common or just, okay,
The grant's lesser.
they were less, yes.
okay. Yeah, I noticed that because it's like, oh, they're kind of, and then all of a sudden,
And
poof,
sometimes people will apply for certain grants
And
and
then
then
go.
not in the next year.
Oh,
okay,
So it kind of is misleading.
okay,
It depends on what grants were applied for. Most federal grants are competitive that you may get it, you may not.
Sure.
But the ones that we do every year that are not competitive, we do every year.
okay. I figured it was something like that because you never know with the federal funding, but I thought it was a good thing at least to ask. Anybody have any other questions for Lisa? All right, moving on, facilities report, Jeff.
We had our first day of school today and the lights stayed on, the toilets flushed. We didn't get too many like unknown calls, so that was pretty good. It's nice to get the kids back in the building to shake it down to see what works and what doesn't, because, you know, you can walk around empty buildings and not know, but it's going pretty well. The custodians really stepped up this summer. We didn't, you know, have a ton of workers and they got a lot of work done, and the morale was pretty good. I think we're gonna miss our mark for trying to do a roof before we get to bad weather.
Did they finally get the specs out from the architect?
I emailed them the other day. So, I don't know, I mean, what do you do? So, we signed a contract with them to get it out.
Yeah.
These things. And you take time.
Yeah, and I can tell you that the market is such that they can take their time and
Yeah,
be fine, yeah.
and we're moving.
They're not the only one. If you switched gears, somebody else is gonna put you at the back of the
Right.
stack, and then it's a 6 to 8 week wait.
And we
Just the,
work
it's the
with them,
timing.
they've been good with this building and stuff, so it's hard to be patient with the.
Yeah.
You know,
most
but it's
engineering,
something we don't want to rush into, we don't wanna. The design to get it, that's. So. We want that to last.
Yeah.
So it's gotta be right. So yeah, it'd be nice to. Do construction. But yeah, we're just. Chugging on. Keep everything. So it'll look pretty nice up there. Hopefully we get some rain so we can turn our front lawns green again.
that's sort of raining outside.
That's perfect. So we're, you know. Someday in the future, we'll have irrigation and all our yards will be green, but right now it's labor heavy to water that stuff, but really impressed with the custodial crew. You know, we've got people that had to miss work, we have people who are down bodies. We're seeking substitutes, if anybody knows anybody, we do need some more subs. But our people step up when they need to and they work hard. So. Is there any question?
I would just say kudos to you, Jeff. I mean, it's great to hear you compliment your team. But any of us that manage people.
Yeah.
Teams do well when they have somebody who's giving good vision and good support and building good morale and clearly you're doing that. So
I feel the pain of the group right now. It's like I want to get them help out, you know, like everybody eat your echinacea, you know, let's not get sick because we're bodies down. So when now all of a sudden they get sick, right? So
right.
So I do have some prospects. I am gonna be taking a bus driver for a 4-hour shift because he had room in his day to not be over 8, so that's gonna help out. And then, yeah, just keeping them healthy and recruiting, so.
But thank you for leading well.
Any other questions for Jeff? All right, moving on, good to the order. We'll start with Chris.
Like I said, I led off with Meredith did an incredible job on Monday for our all staff back to school day. Stephanie, you were there, so I feel like as mom, it's hard to talk, but just how she brought out the staff, had all the t-shirts and brought everybody in. So I think our first all staff day really brought that together. Last week was our summer institute. Elementary was working on instruction of kind of mapping out math standards. I felt like we had 3 really positive days. Tuesday, staff mapping out, taking standards and looking at how to build engaging activities. And realizing that if we're really anchored in our learning outcomes, you can be really creative in what the students are doing. On Wednesday and Thursday, we had 2 great days with WEA coming in and working with our staff, and our staff agreed to kind of work on this framework of above the line, what's below the line. So when I did my walk through the middle school today, it was consistent across the board. Teachers going, this is the culture we want, this is what's above the line, this is what's below the line. And I think my favorite quote was, we want to be above the line because eagles soar above the line. So really, I think there's some good buy-in with secondary teachers, middle school and high school on what are the cultures we want to see for our students and what is our role in the culture we want to see for our students and how do we do that together. So I think a big emphasis on that summer institute plan. Staff planned their own meeting to discuss how they wanted to drive their culture. So I've never had a summer institute where the staff scheduled their own meeting after summer institute into the time where they're supposed to be off so they can begin working and having conversations on the cultures that they would like to have. So I think that would be a successful summer institute when that happens.
I think so. Nice.
And I think most importantly, today was our first day of school. I had the ability to come out and watch parent drop off pickup with our elementary students this morning. Having staff members lined up probably about every 20 yards, making sure all of our young learners are finding their way to their classrooms and no one's getting lost. And once our students found their way to their classrooms, I had the ability to make my way down to the middle school. And by the time I got there, it was quiet. I mean, well, the halls were quiet. Every classroom was going through where teachers were mapping out ways that they want to see their students be successful. Students were fully engaged. And then I got to go to the high school where we had Link Crew bringing on our 9th graders and onboarding our 9th graders and what it means to be an Elma Eagle. And I think the advisor stood up and goes, all right, can everybody sit down? And all of the 9th graders just sat down and were ready to go. They were so excited. So just seeing how we're really being intentional about how we want to bring our Eagles into our buildings and going to every building where the middle school did it by classroom, the high school did it with all the 9th graders, and the elementary was just greeting all of our students at the door and really seeing that intentionality of how we bring our Eagles in was just really made today a great day. So I posted, I think, out of 20 years in education, this is probably my favorite first day I've ever had. I'm tired, but my favorite
That's a
first day.
big
I've ever
comment.
had.
That's a big compliment.
So.
Right.
Well, to expand on that, my 6th grader came home today and said that he had the best day ever and he's excited to go back to school tomorrow. So.
That's big for 6th grade.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, so
That's the worst.
I hope everybody had a similar experience.
Likewise.
So I hope everybody had a similar experience. I did get to go to open house. I actually got to experience every building. It's kind of getting scary because that means that I'm starting to spread out the family a little bit, but yeah. So it started with the elementary and man, everybody seemed really excited to get started. Everybody was really excited. There was a lot of energy. I think even when we went to the middle school, there was a lot of energy. There's a lot of people too. A lot of people came out.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah, there was, when the line opened for the middle school, there was I wasn't over there, but somebody told me this. It said the line was over by the gym to get into the middle school.
Well, yeah, there was a good, I ended up needing to hold the door. So the parents were getting onto their schedule. So then I ended up holding the door because we only had one. So all the parents could pull it up in line. So as the parents got online.
Then they could go through the schedule.
The line immediately halved. No, because they didn't need to, they could get it online.
Okay.
So I didn't know, I think we had a conversation with Mr. Gaskins on next year. I mean, parents with 6th graders have never had multiple schedules. So some instructional videos on how to access those videos, to access those schedules online for our 6th grade families. And I think we could cut that line down even further.
Yeah, I think most people, when they saw the line, they actually just went over to the commons and grabbed a hamburger and then came back over, so it actually worked out great. I'm sorry for anybody that didn't get a hamburger, because supposedly I got the last one. And so, but it was great. It was great to go over there too.
It was a great
and
burger.
It was a great burger. It was good seeing me and Tasha and Ray over there, serving everybody up and greeting everybody. So it was great. Anybody else?
I would have just followed up with the all staff breakfast. The kitchen did an amazing job. I know we all were kind of busy, but I did get the chance to help serve with them. And they even made like homemade from scratch quiche that they served. So it was a very nice staff breakfast, I felt like. And I think just as a follow-up to Meredith, even this morning for senior sunrise, I think they had somewhere between 55 and 65 seniors show up to that. And so I think that really speaks, that's a huge part of their class.
More than the
to-
last 2 years.
To get maybe both combined, but I mean, I think that's a pretty, I think that speaks to the level of engagement that those kids are really trying to lead as a collective class. So I was super excited to see that. And if you looked at the picture, it's very cross-representative of, there was lots of boys, there's lots of girls, there were just the whole mix of students. So I think that's great that they're kind of leading strong from the top.
Anybody else? Anything else? All right, with that, we will move into executive session for 30 minutes for personnel with no action to be taken.
We'll come out at 7:21 PM.
Pass it to Jamie yet.
That's all right. We can do it while we're talking and maybe we can.
Pass it over to Janet.
You're unmuted.
Do you want me to adjourn? Somebody want to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries, meeting adjourned.